Yes, Designhill is back again with a new webinar. Just for a brief, telling about Designhill, it's the world's largest platform for graphic designers with over 40 plus categories. Plus, like we also held up a super active community of designers from all around the world. As of today's webinar, speaking on the topic, how to get a new logo design client every week, we have got Adolfo Teixeira from Portugal. He's also the founder of Logovolt and has an immense Insta followership of above 26K plus. Adolfo has been like creative since his childhood. Like he grew up in countryside without any internet access, and that also sparked his creative thinking. And he's quite minimalist approach. He has this minimalist approach and likes to convey a lot with as less as possible. So, hey Adolfo, how are you?
Hey man, I'm good. Thanks.
Awesome. Just wanted to know like how your career has been, you know, like how did you start everything from your childhood to this successful logo designing as of now?
Okay. First off, I'm hearing my voice on the background again. So if you can turn that off or something. Hello?
Yeah, I guess everyone is listening.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, the voice is still on the background.
Awesome. I guess people, yeah, sound clear.
Okay, guys, do you hear it well, or how's the quality of the voice? Okay, perfect. Yeah, so how did I start the logo design? That was a very long process. I'm gonna take my headphones off. That was a long process. I actually started as an architect student. Like you said, I always love creativity, doing creative stuff and everything. And yeah, but when I was in architecture school, I wanted to have a job. Like I wanted to start making some money. So I had some friends that did graphic design gigs on the side while they were studying. And I started doing graphic design just for the money. To be honest, at the beginning, it was just for the money. I was a student. I needed to make a buck. And I started doing some flyers for clubs. I started, okay, you guys are saying it's better with headphones. I'm gonna put the headphones back on. I started doing for, you know, acquaintances. At the beginning, not charging a lot of money. It was like the start. This was back on 2016, and then after some time, I found myself starting to like this side job more than what I was actually studying. Okay, I was starting to like logos more than architecture. I started to become really obsessed with it. I started buying books on the subject. I started
Adolfo, it is also like it also depends on the network connection that everyone is having.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, because I'm having mixed feedback on the chat. Like some people say it's better with headphones, others without headphones. I'm just gonna talk like this. So yeah, I started buying a lot of books on the subject, listening to podcasts like with the Logo Geek and everything. I started becoming obsessed with logo design until it came to a point that I decided, okay, I like this way more than architecture. So I started going full-time logo designer. Okay, I ended my degree, my 3-year degree in architecture, and I decided to go full-time on logos. And yeah, fast forward to now, I've been working as a full-time logo designer for over a year now. I couldn't be more happy with it. It gives me the freedom to make my my schedule. I don't have a boss. I just do the stuff how I want to make it. I love interacting with the community on Instagram. Mostly that's where most of them hang out. On Dribble also, on Behance. And yeah, it's a great community, man. The logo design community I love it. I just love it.
I guess people were having some issues with the audio and something, but I think it's fine now. Just great. So, Adolfo, like beginning with all the explanation that we shared with our audience, like how they can actually, find new clients with like logo designing. So yes, I just wanted to throw some light on this, starting with whatever the key takeaways that we mentioned with our guys. Yeah. So the first key takeaway. Before this, I just wanted I wanted you to explain how logo designing field sounds to everyone. Like, how is it overall? Like the overall experience that people are having, and like, is there any innovative way to change the type of projects people are undertaking or not?
About it. Okay, and that's Logovolt.
Now I think the video and audio both are clear.
Okay, is it good now?
Yeah, the audio is good.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Adolfo.
Is it good now?
Yeah, it is good. It is good, and it's much better.
Awesome. Can you make the question again?
I just wanted, to introduce about like things about logo designing and how people can start finding new clients, as that was mentioned in one of our key takeaways.
Okay. A lot of people ask that question. Okay, and like the misconception a lot of people have is that they start and they can, they can get clients right away. Have to be that good to get the client, okay? But that's not true, okay? To get clients consistently, you have to be a very, very good logo designer. Why? Because there are a lot of people offering logo design online, okay? You just go on Fiverr, there is people offering logos for $5, thousands of people offering logos for $5. And there's nothing you can do about it. They just like $5 means a lot to them. They don't mind doing a logo for $5. So you have to do something to stand out, okay? Your logos have to be really good. Now, how do you go about it? Time and practice, okay? When you start, you have to be willing to do work that it's going to be for fun, work that it's going to be for free, okay? This is not something very popular, okay? Lots of people say you should never work for free and everything. I don't think that's true, okay? On the beginning, you should definitely work for free. I'd say for the first months, maybe 6 months, you should be willing to work for free and do your best while working for free. Why? Because this will give you the skills to be a good logo designer. And when you are a good logo designer, you won't look for clients. Like, clients will actually look for you, okay? So what I would advise you is, first, obviously, learn the skills, okay? Get books on the subject, watch videos on the subject, practice, sketch a lot. That's very important, okay? You can start first doing it like for yourself, like give yourself a challenge and just do it, okay? Then you can start finding clients that are, let's say you have a friend that has a restaurant, okay? And his logo is bad. You just contact him and you're like, hey man, I can do a logo for free. I'm starting to learn logo design, and you do the logo, okay? And you're gonna practice by doing it. And here's where the important part comes, okay? While you are practicing, while you are making these logos, you are going to post them on social media, okay? This is where the very important part comes. You are going to post them on Instagram, you're going to post them on Dribbble, you are going to post them on Behance, okay? Platforms you probably all know. And you're going to start posting them there. And if they are good indeed, okay, if you are doing your best, sketching, putting a lot of hours in a single logo, you will have a good portfolio, okay, of logos that you made for free, but they are going to be on social media, and people are going to like them, and people are going to start following you, okay? Other designers are going to start following you, but also possible clients, okay? They are going to see your logos, and they're going to be like, oh, this guy is not bad, you know, and they'll follow you. And when this happens, then they are going to start contacting you, and this is where you're going to start charging money, okay? You don't have to start from the beginning, start charging $1,000 for a logo, okay? You can start from the bottom, you know, for lower prices. This way you'll make sure you start, you know, getting the ball rolling, getting some clients. But after some time, yeah, you can start increasing your prices. You can start doing jobs that are related not only to the logo itself, but for the brand identity around it, okay, for the business cards, for the branding manual, everything, okay? And this is how you start developing, and it's like a snowball, you know, you start getting more clients, you start posting more stuff on social media, and then like, man, then it's effortless. Then they just come, they see the great works you are creating, and they start coming and coming and coming and coming. Like, but it's very key, okay? And this is where one of the parts I see a lot of designers fail, is that they have that impulse, like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna post a lot on social media, and they post like for a month or something, and then no one hears about them, okay? You have to be consistent on social media, okay? Posting every week, at least 3 times a week. That's a good amount. This way, the algorithm of social media will keep you favorable, and yeah, good things happen. Clients come, man.
Awesome, man. Let's just take out a minute and just answer the questions that people are asking in the questions tab, right? So there's this question from Shivam Kashyap, like, how can I visualize good logo design according to brief?
Okay, I suppose it means how can you create good logos?
Yeah, so the question is, how can I visualize good logo design according to the brief, or let's say according to the client?
Okay, how can I create a good logo for the client? Is that it? Okay. There's another misconception that a lot of designers have, is that they can just come up with good ideas like this. You know, they just think hard, and a good idea will come. Okay, a lot of people think this. This is not true. Okay, if you want to be good at logo design, it is not going to come from here. It is going to come from here. Okay, you go search for good logo designers. You have to study the masters. Okay, you have to study the people that create the logos, successful logos, okay? Books, online, on Instagram, on Dribbble, whatever. But you have to have heroes, okay? You have to have people that you admire. You have to follow their works, and you have to take ideas from a lot of people, okay? And it's not copying, okay? It's, hey, this logo is good. Oh, this one is so good as well. And this also, okay? And you take one idea from this, and one idea from that, and one from this, and you mix them, okay? And that's how you create good logos. And I would advise you to have 5 logo designers that are like your main ones, okay? That the ones that you really like, and you just try to emulate their works, okay? Like everyone on the history of art, everyone had like people they looked up to, and that they, you know, at first they make very similar work to them, okay? It's not copying, but it's very similar, okay? And after a couple of years doing similar work to the people you admire, you will start developing your own style, okay? And then you don't have to look at other designers so much, okay? You just come up with good ideas yourself. You know, the inspiration, then it comes from here, okay? But on the first years, you have to look into good logo designers. Like, I literally, now I spend hours every day looking at other designers' work, okay? On books, on Dribbble, on Instagram, you know, on Logo Lounge, it's very good as well. Hours and hours and hours. Like, I'd say I spend more time looking into other designs than actually designing the logo itself, okay? So that you can have an idea of how important it is. And I've been doing this for 3 years now, okay? And I still do it. So for people starting out, man, it's very important. Like, spend hours and hours looking at others. Like, maybe there will be some people that say, oh, that's boring. Man, logo design is not for you. If you think that's boring, sorry, man.
What we can do is, you have this questions tab, right? So what you can do is, you can start answering to these questions and just click on start live answer, whichever question that you feel is relevant as of now. And also, guys, those people who are just asking about the answering to the topic of the webinar, guys, the answer is divided in several parameters that our speaker is trying to explain. So I just request you to have some patience and listen to this. Thank you.
Okay, someone asking, what's the title of the book? Logo Modernism. This one's very good.
Can you just click on the start live answer? It gets easier for the person to understand. Yeah, awesome. Great.
It's Logo Modernism. It has like minimal modern logos from the past 50 years. It's a very good one for inspiration. I'd say every logo designer should have this book. There are a couple of other good ones. Let me see. This one's very good also. Pretty Much Everything by Draplin. Love it. It tells the story of one of the best logo designers on history. It's self-biography, if you will. It has a lot of good logo designs, as you can see on the cover. Aaron Draplin is the man. Like, he's one of my main inspirations. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. Let me see. Oh, this one is very good as well. Logo Design Love by David Harry. Very important book as well. Not as much for information, but for the process of creating the logo, like the steps you have to go through. Yeah, get this book if you are starting. And there is one other one that I would definitely recommend, which is Vector Basic Training. Okay, this is about the skill set on the computer. Okay, this one is about Adobe Illustrator or Corel Draw, if you prefer that. This will teach you everything you need to know about Adobe Illustrator. Okay, and while I don't think execution is like the most important aspect in logo design, I think that's very important, and I think there is a lot of logo designers that, let's say, they make good sketches and they have good ideas, but then when it comes to execution on Illustrator, they fail. You know, sometimes you see sketches that are really good, and when they put those sketches on the computer, it kind of loses its magic. And that's where this book by Von Gliska, another good logo designer, will definitely help you.
Great, great. So now moving on to our next section, the next key takeaway that we were placing on, that is what's the right way to communicate with the clients. And I think it's one of the most important factors for all the logo designers, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to search for the question. Can you put it live?
Yes, yes, you can answer any of the questions. There's this question from, just a minute, I just saw this guy.
Yeah, but I'll answer it in the meanwhile. The best way to communicate with the client. I hate communicating with clients on social media. Okay, they contact me and I try to get the conversation on email as soon as possible. Because let's say the DMs of Instagram, they don't allow you, they don't give you freedom, to show a presentation of your packages, let's say, to send attachments. Maybe they contact me on Instagram and I talk with them for a bit, but I try moving conversation to email as soon as possible. If you think it's a serious client, if you are sure about it, I would even get him on a call. Okay, if your English is good, if you have conversation skills, definitely get the client on a call. That this will help you massively. Not a lot of people do it. Not a lot of logo designers do it. Most of them handle clients on email. But if you can afford them to get them on a call, it's good. And of course, if it's a local client of your city, just meet up with them.
Great, great. This guy who's asking, the issue here in India is people do not check emails regularly. What's your take on this?
Man, start working for outside of India.
Nice, nice. Okay.
Good thing about working online, right? You don't have to work for clients of your country. You can work for the whole world.
Great. Let's take any questions that people are asking. This person, William Lovecraft, is asking, "Hi Adolfo, I would like to know your reaction. How do you mentally recover when your proposals are rejected?"
Oh man, that's hard. That's hard. That's the nightmare of every logo designer. Well, first, it's very important to payment up front. Okay, never after I've been working for a while, never work without getting some payment up front. Okay, I would advise you to get at least half up front of the payment. First, because you are more sure of that the client is serious about the project, and then because the fact that the client has put some money into it already, has invested something into it, the client will be more available. Okay, the client will answer your emails faster. He will return your calls. Okay, so always get the payment up front. Okay, but even like this, sure, a lot of times clients don't share your vision. They don't like the logos. Okay, there are several things you can do about this. Okay, first, I would advise you to ask the right questions before starting the project. Okay, a good project starts with good questions. Okay, so the main questions I would ask the client before starting the project is, tell me about your business in a single quote, okay, in a single phrase. What's the unique selling proposition of your business? Show me 5 logos that you really like and tell me why. Show me 5 logos that you hate and tell me why. And maybe I will ask him, why did you contact me? Okay, why did you hire me? What's the reason? There are some more questions you can make, but these are really essential. Okay, I would ask these all the time, every time I get a client. And this way, you'll drastically increase the amount of logos that you have approved. Okay, but even after this, there are clients that will not like the logo you create. Okay, now another thing I advise, after you've been working for a couple of years, I would start sticking to a style. Okay, I would start, me for example, when I started, I was doing all kinds of logos, sports logos, vintage logos, minimal logos, everything. Okay, but after some time, I started liking minimal logos more, so I just stick to it. Okay, so now when a client contacts me, he knows that I will develop a minimal logo for him, a flat minimal logo. He knows, like it's on my portfolio, so he knows that's what I do. So if you do this, if your portfolio is consistent on style, the client will know what to expect. So yeah, this is definitely very important. There's another thing you can do that I'm starting to implement right now. That is, instead of presenting your logos via email, you can present your logos on a call. Okay, on a call where you are sharing your screen and you are like live with the client. You are seeing his reaction. Okay, so let's say you are presenting the logo and your logo has a hidden meaning on it. Okay, you can send the logo to a client and he will not understand it via email, let's say. But if you are talking with him, if you are telling him, okay, so these were the sketches that I created. I started with this, and then I came to this, okay, and then after that I came to this, you know, and the client is like, you know, he's getting engaged. He's like, where is this going? Where is this going? Okay, and then you are like, okay, let's see what I created on computer now, and you share the screen, and you're like, okay, so this logo, man, this logo will blow your clients away. This logo has an hidden meaning on it. It has the main letter of your business name. Okay, here is your logo. And then the client sees it live while you are explaining it. Man, like the rejections of the logos will drop like a lot if you do this, a lot. Yeah, but even after all of this, there are logos that are gonna be rejected. And man, you gotta accept that sometimes you are wrong and the client is right. Happens to me now, like some I think that are so good, but the client better than you. You know, the client involved in business for a long time. But client business better a lot of times. Yeah, that's.
Guys, I think he just got disconnected. Let him just come online. Okay. Good. Is that you mentioned about for great, great. I can just observe that you guys are having a great understanding of what. Yeah, yeah. Stephen, he's just coming on, and we're just waiting for him. I guess he just lost his internet connection. I guess he's back.
There was some problem with the connection.
Yes, yes, yes. Can you hear us?
Is it good now?
Yes, it is. It is
Yes.
better. It is better. Awesome. There's some issues with the video quality. I guess the bandwidth is a bit low. I think it'll get better.
Okay. Awesome.
It's actually quite low. I just cannot see you right now.
So Okay, so I hope that answered the question.
Yes. Okay. So I guess let's just move on to our next topic. Okay. The next topic was like how to use social media in your favor. A real interesting question that people are looking after.
Yeah.
There's a reason that you had this huge number of followerships. So we just wanted to know the secrets behind that.
Yeah. Uh, well, if you want to use social media in your favor, there's something really important. Like speaking of social media, I'm gonna do a small live to my page, just so that people can see it. But there's a lot of people that use Instagram. They consume Instagram. Okay, they don't. Sorry, I'm just putting the live on Instagram. They keep scrolling on their feeds, let's say. They don't spend the time actually creating content for Instagram. And what I think you should do is the amount of time you spend on Instagram, spend it doing proactive things instead of just scrolling on the feed, okay? Create content, okay, that you are creating for your clients, that you are creating for your friends, and share it and interact with everyone that comments on it. Okay, every people that comments on your post, you should respond. You should engage with them. Okay, I see this so much. Okay, people comment on the other designers' post, and they're like, "Oh, this logo is so good," and the designer doesn't even say thank you. You know, this is I think this is very weird. I think you should always not only comment and reply to the comment, but also go to the profile of the person and retribute on one of his posts. Okay, this way the designer will come back. Is like, oh, this guy is cool. He comments back on my posts. I'm gonna keep commenting on his stuff. You know, and if you got a lot of people liking your posts, if you got a lot of people commenting on your posts, you're gonna have more engagement. Your posts are gonna appear on the explore page of Instagram, and this way, of course, you will have more followers coming in, and some of these followers will be clients.
Great, great. Let's just jump to the questions tab. Yeah, let's just answer question.
Okay. How to avoid the low budget of logo design? Most clients are thinking about low budget logo design from $5 to $30. What is the most challenging part of this problem, you think? Like I said, first, you have to start from the bottom. Okay, I would never like do a logo for $5, never, even if I'm starting. I prefer to do it for free for a friend. Okay, but you have to start from the bottom. But after a couple of months and after becoming good, okay, you can't expect to have high budgets if you are not good. Okay, so become good first, practice a lot, put a lot of hours into it. But after this, I would focus on having abundance of clients. Okay, if you only rely on, like, let's say, like one people contacts you a week, you don't have a lot of abundance of choice. You can't say no to a client if he says he has $30 or what it is. So you have to keep having clients coming in. Okay, a lot of them, and this is done by posting a lot on social media. Okay, so you have to post a lot on social media on all the platforms I already mentioned, and you will have more abundance of clients. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. If a client comes to me and he tells me he has $50 for a logo, I can't remember in an instance where I've changed his mind and he paid me $500. It's impossible. Like if someone comes to you with $50, there is nothing you can do, like just like nothing, you know? So when the clients come to you with these types of budgets, you know that you are not attracting the right types of clients, okay? So other than posting a lot on social media, you have to focus on the quality of the presentations that you are posting on social media, okay? It's not only creating the logo on Illustrator and putting it on Instagram and it's done, okay? There's a lot you can make to make a logo appear more high quality, more elegant, okay? You can search for quality mockups. There are so many mockups for free that will make your logo look credible. Just spend some time looking into it on Google. Just go to other designers' feeds, and whenever you see something that you're like, oh, this looks good, you save it, and then you try finding a similar mockup. You know, you go on Behance, you see these whole presentations of a single logo, like 15 or 20 images of the same logo on business cards, on stamps. Man, this looks good. Like if I was a client and I saw that, I'm like, oh, this guy is legit. You know, like he's visualizing how the logo looks on the real life, and everything is good. You know, so instead of creating a logo and making only one post about it, man, do 3 posts, do 5 posts. You know, show the sketches that you made about the logo, show the grid work behind the logo, show the logo applied on real life, you know, with mockups. And I'm sure that this way you will start having more clients coming in, and you're going to start having clients with higher budgets coming in. Okay, that was my experience at least.
Great. There's another question that yeah, so Frey is asking, like, do you recommend putting prices online? And a little bit connectivity with this, the same question asked by Swarika. Like, do you have logo design packages, or do you work on hourly basis? How do you actually price your work?
Yeah, but the prices, I don't think they should be fixed, never, okay? You should, so no, don't put your prices online, because the prices should never be fixed, okay? There are different risks and the amount of work that you're gonna have depending on the company you're working for, okay? If it's a really big company, man, it's a lot of responsibility. Why would you charge a big company the same price you're charging a mom and pop shop? You know, there's no logic in that. So when a client contacts you, you should try finding out what's the business about ASAP, okay? If you can see it based on the information he provided you when he contacted you, good. If not, ask him, okay? Hey, tell me a bit about your business. Where are you based? How long have you been in business for, okay? This way you'll have a better understanding of how much you should charge. And yeah, that's
awesome. So let's just jump on to the last section that we mentioned, that is, how do we manage multiple projects at same time? Like, how do we have so much projects and, you know, work on every project at the same time?
Okay. Well, first, I like bouncing around different projects. If I spend the whole day working on the same project, after 3 or 4 hours, let's say, working on the same project, I start, you know, getting creativity blocks, if you will. So I personally like working 2 to 3 hours on one project and then changing to another. Okay, this way I don't get creative blocks. And I do this, let's say I usually work about 3 to 4 projects at a time. I will work, like, let's say, on 2 or 3 today, then I will do this again tomorrow, and I'll repeat instead of working always on the same project, okay? And man, like if you are like brainstorming, if you are communicating with the client, searching for designs, creating content for social media, man, it will keep you busy. You will not have time like to do everything on one day. So yeah, it's cool to move around between different projects on each day.
Great. I guess we can just jump on to this new questions that we are getting.
How can I create a good and convincing portfolio? I just answered that. Search for good mockups. Look up to designers that have, like, this is very important. It's very important, like, if you see a designer that you know is getting clients regularly, if you know is charging a lot of money, you just have to do the same as him. You know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, okay? Let's say that a bodybuilder wants to become big at the gym. He's not gonna be like, oh, what can I do? He just have to search what other bodybuilders before have done, and he just has to do the same, to eat the same, to train the same amount. So this is the same, okay? Just look at designers that are successful and do the same, okay? Look at the mockups they are using, at the presentations, and try doing yours on a similar way. It's as simple as that, okay? Like, I think a lot of people just don't want to put the time on it, okay? A lot of people just want like 20 minutes and it's done. My post is done. No, man, you have to go on Google, spend hours looking and trying, how does this logo look like on this mockup? Or what about this one? Download this one, let's try it. Man, if it's worth it, pay for mockups. You know, if you pay $10 for a mockup and it's gonna bring you back a project of $1,000, why not? You know, invest and the money will come back to you.
Adolfo, while I was just going through the questions, you know, and just seeing the chats that people are actually like interacting with each other, there's one point that I just saw and I want you to, you know, just answer this question. Like, so when you actually, you know, design a logo, so what's the ideology? Like, what's the first thought that you get behind, you know, starting before a logo? What's the real imagination and what sort of thinking you have?
Okay. Well, I think like for my logos, I think it's important to, when people see it, like your client has a business and this business, its logo is going to be seen by thousands of people, the clients of the business, okay? And I think it's very important when those people see the logo, they have an emotional reaction to it, okay? This is what's going to keep the logo memorable to them, okay? So in order to have this emotional reaction, from my experience, the better way to do it is to have an hidden meaning on the logo. Because this way, you look at the logo and you're like, okay, it's this brand's logo. And you look at it 1 time, 2 times, and maybe at the 3rd time, you're like, oh, whoa, there's a meaning on that. And you see the meaning, and this reaction is what's gonna like keep you attached to it. You know, you found out about the meaning by yourself. So what I always try to do is to have an hidden meaning, like keep it as clear as, like, not very complicated, you know. Like I remember Chris Doe saying, you shouldn't have a logo mixing more than 2 concepts, okay? So let's say you have a truck that sells burgers, you know, maybe you mix the truck and a burger on the logo, okay? But what some people do is a truck, a logo, a burger, and then French fries and a Coca-Cola, you know. No, just keep it to 2 things So that's what I mean by making it as simple as possible. But yeah, like try to have some meaning on your logos, you know. Some are obvious, some less obvious, but I think that's very important to have something that will make people think, you know, make people think when they look at your logos.
Great. So, Adolfo, as we all know, like you have like learned things on your own. From the beginning, you have just learned like designed everything on your own. Just because of the circumstances, you learned a lot more things, and then you have just evolved. But then there's a question by Anthony who just wanted to know like just because you are a self-taught designer and these guys are doing some designing courses, some formal courses. So what do you suggest, like doing certifications at this point of time? Is it good for a designer or a beginner designer, or you think experience makes it a big like experience makes a bigger difference?
I've never had a client ask me for a certification. I've had hundreds of clients and never had, and I don't think it would have any logic if it did, you know. When clients contact you, they want a good service. They want their money, which is an investment, like being retributed to them with a good logo. And man, like that's seen by looking at your portfolio. Like your portfolio is your certificate, you know. If you like, there are some people that base their credentials on their certificate, and then you're like, okay, what is your portfolio, man? Where can I see it? And they just have like schoolwork or something. Man, like I think that graphic design school is good, you know, like you probably learn really good stuff on it. And me, like I've learned graphic design on myself, but a lot of the principles I know, grid work, balance, colors, I've learned it on college. Okay, it was not in graphic design, but it was on architecture, and it was important for me. Like if I want to go back, I would go to college again. You know, the people you meet, the connections you make. It was because of college that I learned about logo design, because I had friends that liked it. So I would say yes to college. Yes, go to college if you are in doubt, but don't expect having a certificate bringing you clients, because it's not like it's all about what you learn. It's not about like the paper you get.
Also here, Hirsch is asking like I am a new freelancer, so how to convince clients to have projects? That's something for the beginners, I guess.
You don't. You don't like. It has to be the client to try to find you. Like you can go to people and be like, hey, can I create a logo for you? But don't expect to have big budgets on this. You know, from my experience, if there's someone that has another experience on that, I good for them. But on my experience, there should be clients coming to you. Okay, there shouldn't be you going to clients. If you are going to try to find people to work for, you should be willing to work for free or for low budgets. And I would only advise that if you are starting out, like if you've been working for a couple of months only, not anything after that. If you don't have clients coming to you, man, just go on Upwork, go on 99 Designs and start there. It's not the perfect way, but it's a start. It's a start.
Israr Khan, I guess he is asking the same question, I guess, for the fourth or fifth time. How to choose the right font size, and right color?
Man, it goes back to what I talked about before. Have designers that you like, have designers that you look up to, and try to do similar work to them. Okay, so you have someone you like, you go and you see, oh, what font is this guy using on this? let's say it's a logo for a gym. You know, you go to these good designers and you look at the gym logos they've made, and you look at the font, and you're like, okay, this looks good, and you try finding a similar font, okay, and you do a similar size, you do maybe a similar color, you know, do this with 4 or 5 different designers, mix the ideas together on the same logo, and you're good.
Any question that you want to, answer to the questions tab?
How to present a logo to a client? I mean, if I have multiple concepts ready, can I present it all at once or one by one? Which will make more sense? I would present all at once. I wouldn't, unless you think it's a bad concept, then I would not present it. But man, if you believe you have 6 good logo concepts, present them all to the client. Why not? Like I said, if it's during a call, even better. If not, send an email. Like what you can do is sending an email where you show like the sketches you created, then the different concepts you created on computer, and then at the end, this is very important, you have to let the clients know which of the concepts is the best. You know, don't just send the multiple logos and be like, hey, choose one. No, let the client know which one you think it's best, and ask, hey, I think this logo will be really good for your clients. Do you agree? And yeah, like this, from my experience, this is better because you're the expert. You should be the one choosing, not the client. If the client wants another one, of course, you will develop on that one, but you should be the one letting him know which one works best.
Nesa question here is asking like how to be polite with clients when they are always on your. Dude, I guess like in my experience, what I think is people when someone is asking you questions, you just have to be patient and listen to what exactly their needs are, right? And then there's a proper time then where you can actually give the answers, with whatever the question was asked. What do you suggest here?
Yeah, it goes back to what I said about asking the right questions on each project. You should always have ready a set of questions that you ask on the beginning. And if after that there's something more the client wants to talk about, if the client has questions, hey, how many revisions do you make? How many weeks this project is going to take? If you see a pattern, if you see a lot of clients asking the same questions over and over again, why don't you just create a text that you send the client when he contacts you? You know, a text with different packages. Hey man, thanks for contacting me. Here's how my process goes. First, I create these sketches. I take this X amount of time for it. Then I create these concepts on computer. You will have 4 revisions, you know. Just create a text with all the information and send it to the client. And this way you don't have to repeat yourself over and over again if you see these questions are important, you know.
Great. Any other question? I guess Phrase asking any advice on number of revisions to provide, as sometimes a client keeps coming with new ones.
Yeah, I think it is up to common sense. It's up to, you know, a lot of times I don't have a specific number of revisions that I will make. I will just agree with the client, working with them, and making revisions until we are both satisfied. But man, like, of course, like it comes down to common sense. If you have been working like for 7 revisions or 10 revisions and the client is not happy, man, you have to be willing to say goodbye sometimes. Like sometimes like you don't share the vision. Sometimes the project is not going anywhere. So man, just let the client know, hey, maybe we're not fit for each other. maybe it's better for you to find another designer, but this is not working very well, and you just part ways. You know, like it's just as simple as that. But if you want a number of revisions, a specific number, I would keep it to 5 tops, maybe.
Awesome, awesome. Most of the questions that I'm seeing here is all like concentrating on single thing. For example, I today beginning like starting as a designer, right? And what do? I usually follow blogs, read some articles, take some practice like material, whatever I can do. But then, what do you exactly suggest to these guys who just want to proceed further? If I start with an internship today, then going further, having some more experience, getting some new clients, obviously being successful as you, following your path. So, what are your thought about it? How to bring this consistency in the career?
I think it's very important for you to have a vision of what you want. Otherwise, you will not wake up in the morning and be motivated to post every day, to work all the day. You will just watch some Netflix because you are not motivated. So motivation is very important here. And the way I kept myself motivated for the past years is having a vision of what I want to achieve, okay? You have to ask yourself, what's the reason you're working as a logo designer, okay? And you have to actually write that down on paper, okay? Like, let's say you want like to be recognized worldwide, write it on paper and visualize it. Hey, like 5 years from now, everyone on the design industry will know me. I will be a famous designer. Write it down. Let's say you want to become rich. It can be another motivation. Hey, I want to be a millionaire when I'm 30. Okay, and I'm gonna do it by becoming one of the best logo designers in the world. Okay, you can have that. I want to make the world a place where more visually beautiful. I want to have beautiful logos everywhere instead of these ugly logos that you see sometimes. Write it down. Write down your motivations. This way, it will be more easy for you to be consistent.
Okay, that answers well. Kalu Alikyo is asking, do you refund your client if they turn down your logo concepts?
That's up to you, but you have to set it to define it on the beginning of the project, okay? What I think it's best is asking for half of the payment up front, and then if the client turns the logo concepts down, you keep that half of the payment for the work you've put into the project, okay? You don't ask for the remaining half, but you keep that half, okay? So yeah, that's it. You just take half of the money.
Guys, any last question that you want Adolfo to answer, because we are short of time now? Adolfo, if you like to answer any of the question.
Can you share your design process in creating a logo? Please share them as well in your Instagram. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna do a little screen share. Okay. Can you see it? Okay, so first off, I always start by the sketches. Okay, I think it's very important to create like 2 or 3 pages of sketches for a single logo. While you are looking for inspirations, you sketch them out, and you create all of the sketches on paper, okay? They don't need to be perfect. They can be a little clumsy sometimes, but it's very important that you get all your ideas on paper, okay? Then after coming up with these ideas, I will move into computer, and I will refine them. Okay, you have to make these ideas clear, like no doubts about what they mean, and you create these black and white concepts, no color in the beginning, and this is a very good stage to present to a client. Okay, like you present the sketches and you present the logos on black and white. Okay, after this, and I will move on to grid work. Okay, so what does this mean? Let's say I have this concept that it was not created with grids. Okay, it was just created with the pen tool, with shapes and everything. And let's say we choose it. Okay, to make sure it is really balanced, I will take this concept, I will put circles and lines, preferably over it, and maybe ovals, and I will refine it to make sure it follows all these perfect shapes. Okay. After that, I have this final mark, and after having this mark, and after the client approving of it, yeah, that's where I start having the type to it. That's where I try colors. I like to try the colors based on the competitors of the business I'm working for. So let's say I'm working for a business that has a lot of competitors with red logos. Okay, I will not create a red logo for my client. I will create a blue logo, a green one, whatever goes in line with the business I'm working. So yeah, I will do that. I will add the type, and then lastly, I will apply it on mockups so that the client can see what the logo will look like on real life. And yeah, like this is it. Like I send this to the client. Personally, I also like having feedback of people on social media. I will share it on social media. Sometimes a lot of people will suggest to make changes, and sometimes they have very good suggestions. So I apply them on the logos, and yeah, that's it, man. That's how you come up with a good process for your logos.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So I think we should move towards the end now. Okay, last question. What are the top three things that you can suggest any budding designer who's just looking for a growth in his career after this? So, what are top three things that you can suggest this guy?
Okay, for someone that is starting, I'd suggest follow 5 logo designers that you love and like watch all their content and try to make similar stuff to them. Okay, this will be the first. Second one is take a course on logo design, either be on YouTube, on Skillshare, or anything. Take a course. There are very good people teaching online. You have George Bokua, you have Varlan Draplin, Chris Doe, Will Patterson. Like, you have the best teaching. So take a course online, at least one, if more the better. And lastly, get books, man. Get books on logo design. Get books even that are not on logo design. Let's say that you are not a very motivated person. Get a book that will about motivation. Let's say that you can't draw very well because it's very important to sketch. Get a book on drawing. You can learn anything. It's just up to you to invest the time and the money into it, and you will become good.
I guess. Okay. Sorry, guys, asking question again and again. Do you think it is necessary to work in a design studio before freelancing or working remotely? This last question, guys.
No, I don't think it's necessary. If anything, maybe the opposite would be better, to work first as a freelancer and then on a design studio, because this way you will be already very good when you are working with other people, you know, and you will not slow them down. But yeah, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. But on this point, something very important. I think being a freelancer can have the downside of spending a lot of time alone at home. Okay, this is something that when I started, I was having a little. I was working at my home and without other people, and sometimes it could be a little stressing, you know. So what I did and what I recommend you to do is to, if you have, let's say, friends that are freelancers like you, why don't you live with them? Why don't you are in the same house as them, you know, and work together? You will motivate each other. And also you don't have to always work from home. You know, you can work at coffees, at co-working spaces, you know, everything. And you will meet other people. You will be working. Maybe you can brainstorm with other people, and this way you are not alone all the time, which I don't think it's really good.
Great. Adolfo, like, can you just suggest top 3 tools for the designers? Because people are asking, like, taking names of, I guess, Adobe Illustrator, Inkscape software. Any top 3 tools that you can suggest to these designers, you know, to start their work off?
Okay, I personally use for creating the logos Adobe Illustrator. I do it because it's the platform with more resources online, tutorials, everything. So that's why I've chosen that one. I also use Photoshop for like tweaking the logo after it's created. I mean, mockups, you know, lightning, you know, all of these effects. And the third one I would use is Adobe Lightroom. I think it's really good for adding textures. It's really good to make those, you know, special effects. Sometimes they give that extra boost to the logo. You know, textures, everything. If you have these 3 tools, you're good, man. You're good.
I guess, guys, in case you have more questions and you want us to answer, you can just post questions here. I'll secretly send a mail to Adolfo and he'll answer all the questions, and I can, you know, surely post it online tagging Adolfo. If anything goes wrong, he can just, you know, ping us right now. Adolfo, any last thing that you want to say about this webinar and the arrangement by Designhill and, you know, your collaboration with us?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me here. I see that there is people having questions for me still. Feel free to go on Instagram and you know, ask the questions there, like on the comments or on DM. You know, I will try answering them. And yeah, I hope you've learned a lot from this webinar.
Great. Just a second. Awesome. So, guys, yeah, I'm like, people are not stopping there. Just thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for your feedback. Also, we'd just like to inform you that a little feedback email will be coming from our side. So we just want you to, you know, whatever your feedback is all about this webinar, please let us know. And also, what's the next topic that you want us to, you know, do this webinar on? We'll try to cover that as soon as possible, and, you know, with the greater information from our side. Thank you, Adolfo. Thank you so much, you know, for just taking out time and connecting with our community. Finally, some people are also asking, like what's the best platform to have, you know, more clients or something. I guess you can just inform them about Designhill. If you just, you know, just tell them about Designhill, because we in the same field are doing the correct thing, right?
Yeah, like the 3 main ones, like I said, it's Instagram, Dribbble, and Behance. Okay, Instagram is the better one. You will find a lot of clients on Instagram. So the quantity will be the bigger of clients on Instagram. Dribbble will have higher paying clients than Instagram, but not as much. okay? And it's harder to grow on Dribble as well. And then there's Behance, which is like the top clients. The best clients are on Behance, but not as much as Dribble or Instagram. Very few clients on Behance. Also not easy to grow there, from my experience. But yeah, I mean, just be active on one platform at first. I would choose Instagram to start off. When you start getting clients of Instagram and you start getting engagement on Instagram, move to the next one, maybe to Dribble. And then when you have two settled up, you move to the third one, to Behance. And then you just juggle between the three.
Awesome. So guys, it was great connecting to you. Thank you, Adolfo, for being on our platform. Guys, just explore, just give feedbacks on our email so that we can have a better view of what we were lagging. Explore Designhill, explore the opportunities, get a view on our Designhill platform. All the best, take care. Bye-bye.